Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our City Commission meeting on this lovely July day. We're going to go ahead and get started, and as I call this meeting to order, I'll ask you to join me for a moment of silence, and then we'll move to a Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, next we will have roll call.
Commissioner Perdue?
Here.
Commissioner Sassi?
Present.
Commissioner Goey?
Present.
Commissioner Knight?
Present.
Commissioner O'Connor?
Present.
Mayor Bliss?
Yes, and commissioners, can I get a motion to excuse Commissioner Robbins?
So moved.
Support.
All right, moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it carries. And commissioners, just a reminder, and for the public to know, Commissioner Robbins is missing today because he is doing active duty with the military. So, I don't know, am I saying that right? Active?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so next, before we move to public comments, so we'll have a couple opportunities for public comment today. The first opportunity will be public comment on action items. So these are items that we're actually voting on today that we talked about earlier at one of our standing committee meetings. We do have scheduled public hearings. So we have a scheduled public hearing where this body will hear appeals for the 2025 Downtown Improvement District Assessment Roll, number 8788. So if you're here to speak on that item, I'm going to ask you to stay put until I open that up. And then the second scheduled public hearing is a public hearing to commemorate a designation of an intersection as Cliff's Corner in honor of Reverend Dr. Clifton Rhodes. So if you're here to speak on that, I'm going to ask you to stay put as well. And then the third public hearing we have today is a public hearing for a Brownfield plan for the project located at 916 Benjamin Avenue Northeast. And then at the end of the meeting, we'll have opportunity for public comment and any other item. So with that, I'll invite our interpreter to come up. If you do need assistance today with interpretation services, please let us know, and we're happy to provide that. And then I'll open it up for public comment specific to agenda items, and I'm going to ask you to be explicit on what item you're talking about. Hi, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Crystal, and I will be the interpreter for today. If any public comment is needed in Spanish, feel free to call me over. Mi nombre es Cristal y yo seré la intérprete el día de hoy. Si se necesita hacer un comentario en español, tengan la libertad de pedirme venir aquí arriba con ustedes. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you so much. All right, with that, is anyone here to speak on agenda items? If you are, you can come up to the podium here, share your name, the city that you live in, and then again be explicit about what agenda item that you're speaking on. All right. Mark, are you coming up?
Hello, friends. Mark from Grand Rapids. Fiscal Committee 11. The authorization for the notice of to issue bonds for a parking ramp for the amphitheater. No. I don't want no bonds. I don't want public money, bonds, nothing like that for a parking structure for a venue that private investors can buy themselves, can do it themselves with private money. Again, the people should not be hoodwinked for this type of venture, because the bottom line is this: the bonds will fall on the feet of the people. I have no problem with the structure itself. I just don't want the public forking a penny of this money in the form of bonds to pay for this. So you should think about it and do the right thing, because trust me, there's more people than me who are worried about their money going into a private venture such as this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else who wishes to be heard on action items? All right, I'm going to close that public hearing or that public comment period, and that'll move to approval of minutes. Commissioners, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from our June 4th meeting?
So moved. Support.
All right, moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it carries. All right, next that will take us to petitions and communications.
First one is a communication received from Marcia Plafkin regarding the death of Patrick Leoya.
All right, that is received and filed.
Communication received from Marcia Plafkin objecting to a thin blue line flag installed at the Grand Rapids Police Department.
That is received and filed.
Communication received from Brittany Hayes regarding their resignation from the Community Relations Commission.
That is referred to our Committee on Appointments.
Communication received from John Encato regarding their resignation from the Community Relations Commission.
That is referred to our Committee on Appointments.
Communication received from Michael Ott regarding propaganda.
That is received and filed.
61 communications received requesting adoption of a resolution of cessation of business with companies that directly support the war against Palestine.
That is received and filed.
Communication received from Grand Rapids Housing Commission regarding greenhouse gas emissions reduction goal.
That is received and filed.
2 communications received opposing a parking structure at the amphitheater.
That is received and filed. All right, next that will take us to reports of city officers.
First one's the Comptroller's warrant report for the period of May 22, 2024 through June 29, 2024 in the amount of $50,743,273.34 and the monthly travel and funds reports.
That is received and filed.
And a treasurer's report for the period of May 22, 2024 through June 30, 2024.
And that is also received and filed. All right, next that will take us to our consent agenda. So our consent agenda are items that we talked about earlier today in one of our standing committee meetings where there was a unanimous vote. So today with one voice vote, we will adopt those items. Commissioners, can I get a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved. Support.
All right, moved and supported. Commissioners, any additional questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. Commissioners, we do have one item removed from consent, and then we also have ordinances, and we will be suspending the rules for 3 resolutions. Let me just write a note around that. So we'll start with the first item that is removed from consent. This is a resolution recommending approval by the Michigan Liquor Control Commission of a social district permit application pursuant to Public Act 124 of 2020. Again, it's off consent because we have one commissioner who needs to abstain from this vote because of a conflict. So commissioners, can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
All right, moved and supported. Any additional questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next that will take us to our ordinances to be adopted. And we have 3 ordinances before us today.
First one is the ordinance amending section 1.905, description of downtown district, and section 1.912, the development plan and tax increment financing plan for downtown development area number 1 of chapter 21, Downtown Development Authority of Title I Administration for the expansion of the city of Grand Rapids Downtown Development Authority Development Area number 1, and an amended development and tax increment financing plan for downtown development area number 1.
All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
All right, moved and supported. Commissioner O'Connor, you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. This is just an ordinance change that's just for the DDA to expand the boundaries of the DDA to include some notable and exciting properties that are in process of being redeveloped and to add those to the rolls for the DDA, which also requires an update to the plan.
Great, thank you. Commissioners, I know we have Mr. Tim Kelly with us today, so if we do have any questions, you're welcome to ask him. I believe we all have been briefed on this. Any additional questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is a roll call vote today.
Commissioner Knight,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connor,
Yes.
Commissioner Goey,
Yes.
Commissioner Asasi,
Yes.
Commissioner Purdue,
Yes.
Mayor Bliss.
Yes, and commissioners, can I get a motion to give this immediate effect?
So moved.
Support.
All right, moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, that will take us to our second ordinance.
It's a consideration of an ordinance rezoning 385 Leonard Street Northeast from the NOS Neighborhood Office Service Zone District to SDPRD Special Districts Planned Redevelopment District to facilitate construction of a 5-story apartment building with up to 186 dwelling units and 622 square feet of commercial retail space.
All right, can I get a motion?
So move.
Moved and supported by our 2 Second Ward commissioners. And since this is an exciting project in the Second Ward, I'll turn it to Commissioner Knight.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the Sun Title property that's located on Leonard, encompassing a whole block, Lafayette, Carrier Street, and North Avenue. Looking at building some apartment buildings or apartment spaces, as well as a commercial kitchen on the space. Approximately 86 studios, 400 square feet, 91 one-bedrooms, and 4 two-bedroom apartments. The space is graded very differently, so it'll look like a 4-story in one area and 5-story in another area, but it will provide some much-needed housing that we need in that area, as well as some retail. So excited to see this happen.
Yeah, it's great. Commissioners, any additional questions or comments? All right, this is a roll call vote today.
Commissioner O'Connor?
Yes.
Commissioner Goey?
Yes.
Commissioner Asasi?
Yes.
Commissioner Purdue? Commissioner Knight?
Yes.
Mayor Bliss?
Yes, it carries. All right, that will take us to our third ordinance to be adopted.
You need a motion for immediate consideration.
Oh, can I get a motion for immediate consideration of this next ordinance?
So move. Support.
All right, moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, it's open.
So this is a series ordinance for water supply system improvement junior lien revenue bonds in the amount not to exceed $33 million.
All right, can I get a motion?
So move. Support.
All right, moved and supported. Commissioner Isasi, you want to tell us about this?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On May 7th, this body approved the publication of a 45-day notice of intent regarding the potential issuance of one or more series of water supply system, which will be referred to as a system, improvement junior lien bonds in the amount not to exceed $41.4 million. That notice of intent was published in the Grand Rapids Press on Sunday, May 12th, and the 45-day referendum period expired on June 26th of the same year. There was no petition for that referendum. The improvements proposed by this financing include a variety of things, including various aging water main infrastructure and facilities, water replacement services of leaded materials in accordance with regulatory requirements, and I'll just note Hall, Fremont, Eleanor, and Valley Streets, as well as other facility upgrades and improvements.
Great, thank you. Commissioners, any questions? All right, seeing none, this is a roll call vote today.
Commissioner Goey?
Yes.
Commissioner Asasi?
Yes.
Commissioner Purdue?
Yes.
Commissioner Knight?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connor?
Yes.
Mayor Bliss?
Yes, it carries. And Commissioners, can I get a motion to give this immediate effect?
So move.
Support.
All right, moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, Commissioners, next we have 3 resolutions that were walked on today. So to begin, I would like to ask for one motion to suspend the rules to consider 3 resolutions.
So moved.
Support.
All right, moved and supported to suspend the rules. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, that will take us to our first resolution before us today.
It is a City Commission resolution approving settlement in the Progressive Insurance Risk Management Claim Number R240168.
All right, can I get a motion?
So move.
All right, moved and supported. Commissioners, any additional questions about this? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, that will take us to our second resolution.
It's a City Commission resolution approving settlement in Workers' Disability Compensation Agency matter involving Lucas A. Souders.
All right, can I get a motion?
So move.
Support.
All right, moved and supported. This is another settlement. Any additional questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, that will take us to our third resolution.
It's a City Commission resolution authorizing entry of participation agreements and partial settlement of the National Prescription Opiate litigation and entry of state-local government intrastate agreement concerning allocation of settlement proceeds, Kroger Company.
All right, can I get a motion?
So move.
Support.
All right, moved and supported. Any additional questions or comments? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, thank you, Commissioners. That will take us to our scheduled public hearings, and as I indicated, we have 3 of those before us today. We'll start with the first one. The first public hearing that we have is the City Commission is here to sit and hear appeals, and these appeals are related to the fiscal year 2025 Downtown Improvement District Special Assessment Roll Number 8788. So to start, I'll have our assessor come up and talk to us about this item. Again, this public hearing and appeal process are for individuals who are in this assessment district who are filing for an appeal. And so you have to be one of the individuals on that list who is appealing that to speak at this public hearing. So we'll start, see if there's any questions, and then if you're here to be heard on this item, you're welcome to come up afterwards. Paul will be available if you need to speak with her after. And again, same rules will apply. We ask that you share your name, the city that you live in, and then we'll give you up to 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Paula Jastifer. I'm the city assessor. And at the request of the Downtown Improvement District Board, the assessor's office has prepared a special assessment roll 8788 in accordance with the district's plan that was adopted on May of 2023. It's a 3-year plan, and we're in the 2nd year of that plan. So owners were sent notices June 3rd and notified about the assessment amount and the appeal process. The assessment roll has been open for public inspection for the required 2 weeks. That started June 3rd through today. And in addition, we've also posted a copy on the city's website. We have not received any appeals through today. So today is the day that the City Commission sits as the Board of Review to hear the appeals, and it's the final day to submit an appeal. So I'll be here for the duration of the public hearing, and I'll also be in room 340 of City Hall for anybody wishing to file an appeal. Thank you.
Thank you. So is there anyone here today who wishes to file for an appeal for this assessment? Okay, seeing none, I will close that public hearing, and we'll move to our next scheduled public hearing. So I'll have our city engineer come up, Mr. Berkman. So this is a public hearing considering the commemorative designation of the intersection of Henry Avenue and Logan Street as Cliff's Corner in honor of Reverend Dr. Clifton Rhodes, Jr. So with that, I'll have Mr. Berkman talk about this item, and then if you are here to be heard, I'll open up for public comment after that.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Commissioners. This request was received from Messiah Missionary Baptist Church, located at the southwest corner of Henry and Logan, to commemoratively designate this intersection, as the Mayor just read, in honor of the late Reverend Dr. Clifton Rhodes, Jr. as Cliff's Corner. He served as the pastor of the church for over 45 years prior to passing away in 2018, and the church would like to honor his memory in this way. Per the City Commission policy on renaming streets, which includes commemorative designations such as this request, it has been circulated to the appropriate departments and agencies for their review, and all owners adjacent to this intersection have received notice of the hearing by mail. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions either now or after your hearing.
Okay, great. Commissioners, any questions or comments for Mr. Berkman? All right, seeing none, thank you. If you are here to be heard on this item, you're welcome to come forward. Again, we ask that you share your name, city that you live in, and you'll be given up to 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Mansfield Matthews, and I'm a proud and humble member of the Messiah Baptist Church here in Grand Rapids, and I stand with Reverend Dr. Clifton Rhodes' daughter, Michelle Rose Jones. I may repeat a few things that Mr. Berkman just said, so forgive me for any redundance. We, the family and friends of Clifton Rhodes Jr., and members of the Messiah Baptist Church and the local community have gathered today to petition the city of Grand Rapids to honor the legacy of the Reverend Dr. Rhodes Jr. with a commemorative renaming of the corner of Henry and Logan Street in southeast Grand Rapids as Cliff's Corner. The Reverend Dr. Clifton Rhodes spent many of his years, 45 years of his life to be exact, in ministry at the corner of Henry and Logan at Messiah Baptist Church. Serving as pastor, he was a deeply respected man of God and was loved by many, especially including myself. Rhodes was recognized in 2015 as the Giant of Giants, recognizing that he's impacted many areas in and beyond the community, described by his nominators as a truly undeniable leader, a person of tremendous character, incredible talent, and a beautiful heart. Rhodes accepted this award, accompanied by a standing ovation and thunderous applause. Rhodes graduated from Grand Rapids Bible Seminary, now Cornerstone University, with a bachelor's degree in religious education. He also went on to earn his master's degree and his doctorate in Christian communication. Rhodes invested much of his time to build relationships with the Grand Rapids Police, to prevent negative relationships within the community, and instead create partnerships. Reverend Rhodes serves as the Grand Rapids Baptist Fellowship President. He served as the NAACP chaplain, and sadly, the Lord took him from our midst April 16, 2018, as a result of ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. We choose to honor his extraordinary life and legacy with this commemorative renaming of Henry and Logan as Cliff's Corner, and ask your consideration.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. All right, others who wish to be heard?
Good afternoon. My name's Deborah Cross, resident of Grand Rapids. Just want to add to what Mr. Matheson has said. I believe that this symbolic gesture is fitting for all of the reasons that you've heard so far. But beyond that, for the children that will be walking past that spot, Martin Luther King School is right there, and perhaps question, who was this man? Why is this named as this? And maybe they might decide, as seeing that he's someone that they might want to emulate and become more positive in the community and impact it going forward. So I think for us who are here today, it's great and fulfilling to know that we are asking for this request so that we can recognize the legacy that he left. But I think more importantly, the children who will become behind that can learn about his story and learn about what they can do to advance equality, empowerment, and all the things that Dr. Rhodes stood for. I think that's where the importance lies. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Hi,
Good
welcome.
afternoon, Mayor Bliss, to
Hi.
City Manager Washington, to all the commissioners here. My name is Pastor Daniel Smith. I serve as the current pastor of Messiah Baptist Church of Grand Rapids. I was fortunate to transition alongside Dr. Rhodes. He was diagnosed with ALS, but before his demise, we spent about 6 months together, I think, every day. And one of the greatest statements that he ever said to me is, I know I'm known as Dr. Rhodes, but sometime I like to just be called Cliff. And that just showed his humanity. And the reason why we chose the name collectively Cliff's Corner is because not it just showed his religious side, but it showed his human side, that he was in touch with just about everyone on that southeast side of town. So this Cliff's Corner is part of a greater advance that we're looking to do. And some of this was Dr. Rhodes' mind, and my responsibility, or my pleasure it is at the moment, is to carry out some of the things that we talked about, which is to expand property for some of those individuals and groups that are less fortunate and don't have the same opportunities. Messiah happens to be blessed with a plethora of different diverse financial, spiritual, and emotional types of people. And he recognized that as diverse as the congregation is, we never want to forget the least of these. And so Cliff's Corner is an opportunity for us to rename that corner, but we own the property right next to the corner, and our goal is to put a duplex on that corner as one of our first phases of what we call M Village. And we also have purchased 1865 Eastern Avenue, and we're looking to expand that property as well. And it's all just keeping the legacy involved that, we inherited a legacy, and we want to make sure we continue that legacy. There's an Afrocentric term called Sankofa, and so Sankofa is a depiction of a bird with the body facing forward, the head facing backward to pick up seed, and it basically means that once it says go back and get it, that's the first thing, and the second thing is never forget where we come from. And so this is our opportunity to honor Dr. Rhodes' legacy, as well as the entire Rhodes family who served alongside with him. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone else who wishes to be heard on this item? All right, well, I will add my comments. One, it's good to have everyone here. I know I speak for many. He was truly a remarkable man, loved by so many people in this community, and I know he's greatly missed. So thank you for carrying on his legacy, building on what he established, but also finding ways to continue to honor him. So thank you all. With that, I'll close that scheduled public hearing, and that will be referred back to our Community Development Committee to make a final decision. So thank you. All right, next that will take us to our third scheduled public hearing today, and this is a public hearing to consider a Brownfield plan amendment for the Benjamin Flats redevelopment project located at 916 Benjamin Avenue Northeast. So we have Ms. Solis from our Economic Development Department to tell us about this item. I see Max from Third Coast here as well to provide additional details, and then we'll open up for questions, and then if you're here to be heard on this item, you're welcome to come forward after that. All right, good afternoon. So before you this afternoon is a Brownfield plan amendment associated with the redevelopment of 916 Benjamin Avenue Northeast, or Benjamin Flats as we call it. The developer is an entity associated with Third Coast Development and is proposing to demolish the existing vacant former gathering hall and develop 3 new 2-story apartment buildings with a total of 39 units. Total investment in the project is estimated at $7.6 million. With construction costs of approximately $5.7 million. The 39 residential units will be a mixture of studios, 1 and 2 bedroom units, and will be largely rented at market rate, except for 8 units, which will be income restricted for households earning up to 100% of the area median income. The reimbursement request for the Brownfield eligible activities associated with the project is just over $4.6 million. The developer is taking advantage of the new housing development activities that are now allowed to be reimbursed due to the changes to the Brownfield Redevelopment Financing Act approved last summer. The reimbursement is expected to occur over a period of 25 years, and the 8 income restricted units are to remain restricted through the term of reimbursement in accordance with the Brownfield Authority's guidelines. The developer is participating in the inclusion plan and working towards a goal of 21% or $1.2 million of participation from minority-owned, women-owned, and micro-local business enterprise subcontractors. And the project was also supported and included in the city's revitalization and placemaking program grant application through the MEDC. The city has allocated a grant of $960,000 to the project. They've also been to Planning Commission and received approval there back in March, and construction is expected to start later on this summer with completion expected in the fall of next year. I'll ask Max to come up and share. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Yeah, this is the former Amalgamated Transit Union Hall. They moved out November of 2021, and we purchased the building shortly after that. And ever since, we've been working with the neighborhood. We've been working with engineers, architects, and the city, Brownfield Authority, to create a project that's viable here. It's been an interesting approach. The neighborhood association, they're actually technically part of NECA, which includes Knapp's Corner. It's pretty widespread. So then when we reached out to NECA to try and get a group of people around this site, that was a challenge because they weren't really engaged with the association that is otherwise concerned with the massive development that happens in Knapp's Corner. So we actually went door to door and were introducing ourselves, introducing the project. We worked hand in hand with Betsy at NECA, and actually one of our first meetings was at the Yankee Clipper Library. And we had over 20 people there, a lot of them, neighbors that lived within a stone's throw of each other, meeting for the first time. So it was really interesting that that this project was a catalyst to get everyone around the table to discuss what they want their neighborhood to be and what they want this project to be. So it was great. We got great feedback. Originally, this project was 48 units, and we needed a parking waiver to accommodate those 48 units there. And once we got the feedback from the neighborhood association, we dialed the 48 units back to 39 because they asked for less density. And by doing that, that allowed us to get more parking on the site. So now we have more than the required amount of parking on the site. So it was good feedback. I think we accommodated a lot of the concerns that the neighborhood had, and then we have just some other things like bike racks and things that are promoting kind of alternative methods of transportation they were excited about also too. So yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys might have, but we're looking forward to a great project.
Great, thank you. Commissioners, any questions? All right, I think we're good.
Great.
So if you want to sit, there might be questions from the audience, and then I'll have you come back up and answer any.
Thank you.
All right, so if you are here to be heard on this item, you are welcome to come forward. Again, this is a Brownfield request for this development at 916 Benjamin. Is there anyone here who wishes to be heard on this item? All right, seeing none, I will close that public hearing, scheduled public hearing, and that will come back to us at Committee of the Whole. All right, next that will take us to our last opportunity for public comment. This is public comment on any other item that you wish to speak to. Again, we ask you to come up to the podium here. We have the expected meeting procedures listed up there. We ask you to respect those. A couple things we ask you to refrain from doing. We ask you to speak to this body. If you have questions, we won't answer them. This is an opportunity for us to listen, not to debate with you. We also ask you to refrain from using inappropriate derogatory language or making any directed threats or comments towards anyone in the audience or anyone on this body. So with that, we'll turn it to our first speaker.
How's everybody doing? I just feel very good. I feel beautiful, I ain't gonna lie.
Start with your name, D.
I'm D. Jones. I feel beautiful. I feel gorgeous. I feel really good inside. But I'm just very excited because I was speaking to the city a little bit ago about this esports initiative that we'll possibly be doing with the city. And I was speaking to Asante that I can get the Detroit Pistons involved, and the Detroit Pistons actually contacted us back today. And they actually want to run us through this platform that we can actually develop this cool initiative. So I'm very excited about this initiative that we'll be developing. Also, the Youth Justice Influence League that I developed in partnership with the 17th Circuit Court. I'm very excited because we'll be doing our first day of the season today. And the Michigan Youth Justice Center actually contacted me because they've heard about the things that I've been doing in King County with this esports league, and the stuff that I've been doing is actually going to be research that's actually going to be able to help other states actually get rid of the juvenile court fines and costs that in 2023 that they got the state legislation passed. So I'm very excited about that because that is very powerful to be able to have your work influence policies, especially across the nation, especially knowing that the criminal justice system isn't fair to our youth, especially people of color. And I'm very, very excited to be able to do something like that because I grew up in juveniles and the residential homes and things like that. So to be able to give back and develop these partnerships, I have that lived experience, and I use that experience to influence people. I'm also excited about the esports production we shot in Detroit. I'm the co-producer of a production called Gamers. We're getting a lot of traction for that. We're actually going to be showcasing that at a college in Detroit, and the pop company Fago was a sponsor of that. We got the Urban Youth Summer Basketball League that we'll be doing at King Park. I want to thank Bean Goy because he said that he sponsored that, and that's pretty cool because it's in the 3rd Ward, and to have a commissioner be able to say that he'd get involved with that, that's pretty powerful. I like that. Thank you, Mr. Goy. And then what else? We got a Fortnite competition that I was just on Fortnite before I came here. I slid back to the house and I got on Fortnite and I got a dub, so I feel pretty good because it was a lobby of 99 people and I had got on the game, so that feels pretty good. I'm doing a lot of cool things for the community, and then I'm doing a Fortnite competition October 12th. And I'm excited for that. It's a lot of cool things that I'm doing for the community, especially being able to help. I'm very excited about helping GRPS invest into esports, and then I'm going actually the president of the largest esports organization in our state is going to go with me to GRPS to actually help the school district actually help with infrastructure and all of the opportunities. So be looking forward to the cool things that's going to be happening in the community. Powerful educational change. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. You're making me feel old. I have no idea what Fortnite is. All right, others who wish to be heard? Do you know what it is, Mark?
No, I don't.
Okay, we're in this
No, I'm way too old for that. Mark back. All right. Well, America is getting ready to do two things: stay with the status quo or go down in flames. I know most of you have heard of Project 2025. Project 2025 is a radical manifesto founded by a radical group called the Heritage Foundation. Their goal, if the orange man gets back on that throne, is to radicalize America from what we know now. They want this country to be a radical Christian right religion. No more freedom of religion. Department of Education, gone. Programs we all know will be gone. Police departments, law enforcement around the country will have absolute immunity. Basically, they'll be drenched in so much Teflon, you can't get it out with a jackhammer. So, if people around here think what happened to Patrick Leroy is bad, watch what happens if they get this radical crap going. This is why voting is more important than ever. Because you sit on the couch and don't vote, you will have an entire MAGA administration, cabinet, legislatures, and everything else all over the country. That means black people might get yanked from leadership positions and enter the devil's punch bowl. Immigrants will be deported, legal or illegal. So you better get off your butts and vote. Because if not, you failed your country. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mark. All right. Others wish to be heard? Hi. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Carl McMath. I'm representing in Ward 3 and representing Realism is Loyalty. I would like to see supply of help for homelessness before stripping people away from their families and helping them gain access to things like businesses and going into stuff like that, and the gentrification around the areas of our neighborhoods, meaning us black people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here and for your comments. All right. Others wish to be heard? Hi.
My name is Blake. I'm representing the third ward and Realism is Loyalty. And I feel like instead of like trying to like put people in places, y'all should like help them more instead of like saying like go to the homeless department and stuff, like ask them and guide them. Actually like go have a conversation with them and stuff, because people, all it takes is a conversation. People like feel where you're coming from, and then like, oh, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if we get my generation more stuff to do, we won't like be in like juvie and stuff, because y'all already know what we be doing, because y'all already know our social media. If y'all like give us ads and stuff to like go somewhere, like go to a park or something, we'll listen because it popped up on our phone. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Appreciate that. All right. Is there anyone else who wishes to be heard? All right. Seeing none, I'll close that public comment period and I'll turn to my colleagues and I'll start down here with Commissioner Perdue.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We had another great and long and productive day of meetings, and we covered a lot of major topics. I want to point out 3 major actions that we took today that are specific to supporting the 3rd Ward. The first is that we invested in another community-based violence intervention and prevention program, the GRACE program, led by Pastor Gaddy, and that decision was guided by the participatory budgeting process. So residents in the 3rd Ward said this is the type of project we want to support, and then that came to fruition today with us allocating or spending dollars in that to support that program. So really great to see that. Secondly, we received the city received over $6 million from the state, and part of those dollars will go to supporting 2 projects in the 3rd Ward that will bring 39 units of housing online. So that's another win from today's activities. And then thirdly, we enhanced our adult recreation and entertainment options by adding a new social district in Alger Heights. And so really excited about those wins today. And I also want to reiterate my concerns about in some areas that we need to do a better job of. We had a lot of conversations today around big new assets that are coming downtown, specifically the amphitheater and the city's role in potentially bonding out for part of that. And I just want to continue to challenge Grand Action to increase its goals around the inclusion of minority-owned, women-owned, and micro-local businesses. Right now, their inclusion plan includes 6.6% of the $120 million towards those sorts of businesses, and I think we can do better. I know that we can do better. And as a city, I think we expect us to do better for this once-in-a-lifetime transformational project. And so I think that's one area that collectively we all can do a better job, but certainly with this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Another area that I want to see us make some progress on, and we talked a few times about it today, and so I'm excited that there's some synergy in this area, but the need to work collaboratively and intentionally across departments as we create and execute strategy so that economic development and mobility and are not disconnected, for example. And so we're really creating a holistic plan as we invest in our neighborhoods and our community. And then thirdly, we had a joint session with Planning Commission today, and we talked a lot about the future of the city, growth, infrastructure, and that included housing. And so I encourage you all if folks who are interested in hearing more, to kind of listen into that conversation, because it will have, that plan will guide our city for the next 20 years. And that plan is available online, and there will be an open public comment period. And so we encourage you to view it and get involved and hear your thoughts. And so some of my thoughts around areas that we need to do better in general around housing is even just how we frame and talk about housing and affordability. Oftentimes, I notice that when we talk about housing affordability, we refer to the median income of our city. And that's a great start, right? But affordability is based on what is affordable to you versus what is affordable to you, what is affordable to you. And so that changes based on your income. And so I think we need to make some shifts in how we talk about affordability. It's not just 50% AMI, depends on that individual status. A third of our young people in the city live in poverty. Over 40% of families are, between the cost of living and income, are not able to make ends meet. And so we have to keep that in mind as we think about supporting housing and ensuring there's housing for everyone at all price points and affordability options. And so those are 3 areas that I'm hoping that we can continue to move the conversation forward and do a better job in. So looking forward, I'm looking forward to having more conversations about how do we support diverse business owners. I'm looking forward to hearing more about the progress made on some of our transformational projects. And relatedly, parking came up quite a bit today. And so I hope to hear more on how we plan to manage the increased need for parking and traffic as we continue to grow downtown. The last thing I'll say is shout out to Realism is Loyalty. So glad to see y'all here. I had the honor of spending some time with that group recently. And as you can probably tell by some of their comments made today, this is just a talented young group of people. They are thoughtful, they care, they are passionate. In addition to talking during our time together about housing and homelessness, they also share concerns about gentrification, housing affordability, stuff to do for young people and for teens. And you all should know that today we talked about how the public museum and the public library might expand and allow them to provide more services for people in your age group. And so I'm really excited about that. And that, well, you might be adults by then, depending on how long it takes. But I think more and more people are hearing you to say, we know that you all need more options of things to do to keep you engaged in really safe and productive ways. And so work with us on doing that. So just want to shout you all out. Thank you all for being here. I'm so impressed with you, and thank you for coming.
All right, thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Sassi? All right. Commissioner O'Connor? Commissioner Knight?
Just a brief follow-up, too, to what Commissioner Perdue said with our young people. There was also a comment that was brought up in our joint planning commission meeting about young people being engaged with the city's master plan and how they have not been able to capture that voice. So I want to encourage you young people. I think we talked about, or somebody brought up the possibility of maybe getting some more of that information, and maybe there's a way with the group that you all can reach out into this population, because you have that influence in that, so that their voices is captured as we begin to move forward with the plan, because the plan is going to affect them. I mean, it's going to affect all of us, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, I plan to be here, but I'm just saying it's really going to impact their lives as young people. So thank you for that. Thank you for the crew from Messiah who came out. Really honored to see this happening. Pastor Rhodes was kind of like another father and snatched me up many a time, and was a great influence and a pillar in this community. So I'm grateful to see this. Sad that he's not here to see it, but we continue to honor his legacy in this community. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Clay?
That's the problem of being last. Everyone has said almost anything that I wanted to say. But let me just reiterate my thanks to the Messiah Missionary Baptist Church. Dr. Rhodes was a good friend. I had many long conversations in which he guided me and helped me understand issues. And so I'm looking forward to having his name placed as Cliff's Corner. It's going to be an exciting day to do that, and I hope to be there to celebrate that with you. I, too, want to echo what Commissioner Perdue has already said in many ways, but also to again, to affirm and thank the young men who came forward to talk about their vision and their passion for the city and the Third Ward especially. And I think that passion and vision is what we also represent here and as the city commissioners and as the mayor and the city manager of this city. Let me also say this. I think that what Commissioner Perdue talked about in terms of how we invest our money and where that money is invested into. I'm very excited about the new projects downtown. I think it's going to be good for the city as a whole, but it is also going to be an opportunity for the Third Ward to also benefit from those investments that are going to be there. And so I too would call on Grand Action and all the participants of this project to not just talk about and not to just say, oh, I will look for reaching these goals, but to make an actual commitment to the goals. I've heard from other conversations that at one time there was early in the process that there was an agreement amongst the various organizations that were involved with this project that their aspirational goal was to have about 30% inclusive participation. And then my own private conversation with Grand Action was that they were shooting for a 14% participation, and now we're seeing that maybe it is down to 6.6% participation. And I think, and I will say thank you to the Benjamin Flats project, in which they're committing to 35%. So. I will support the $30.5 million bond request, but I also will say that I will ask for and ask for that the bond that the city will be responsible for will attach a requirement or some demand for greater participation of inclusive vendors in the building of the parking ramp. And I'm hoping that maybe we could get to the 30% that was agreed upon early in the discussion stages of the amphitheater projects. But again, this has been a great day for the city of Grand Rapids today. Thank you all for being here. One thing that I've learned in the short time I've been on this commission is that the more that we hear from the people speaking at that podium, the better off that we're all going to be, because we will be making better decisions because we heard you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Commissioner. City Clerk?
Just a couple election updates. So absentee ballots are available. They have been available for a couple weeks now. So if you need to get an absentee ballot or want to find out where early voting is or if you're registered, all that information, go to michigan.gov/vote. We mailed out 24,717 absentee ballots, and we received 6,847 of them back. So about 28% have been mailed back. So, and then early voting starts a week from Saturday on the 27th. You can find out more information about elections at grandrapidsmi.gov/GR-votes. So that's where you can find everything out, when the dates and times and hours of early voting and all the polling locations.
Great, thank you. City Attorney? Deputy City Manager?
Yep, just channeling the city manager today. Thanks to all the staff to support the meeting. It's a little extra effort to have the combined city commission and planning commission meeting and turn this room around quickly. So appreciate everybody's effort.
Thank you. And I'll close with just a few comments. One, I want to remind my colleagues that we do have one more executive session today for a performance review for our city treasurer, who's in the back. So since this meeting is finishing up a little bit earlier, why don't we plan to do that at 3 o'clock down in room 601. And then I'll end with just highlighting a few things. Since our last meeting, we, City of Grand Rapids, myself included, were able to be a part of kicking off an initiative with a number of community partners, including Degage and our COC, our Coalition Net and Homelessness, Mel Trotter Ministry, Community Rebuilders, a number of other nonprofit partners, and our philanthropic partners and business community, to have a goal of housing 100 individuals who've been chronically homeless. Those are individuals who've experienced homelessness for well over a year in 100 days. And we launched that initiative, and I'm really confident that we will be able to accomplish that by all of us coming together. And so if you want to get involved, we just set up a website. So if you want to know how you individually can get engaged in that effort, please go to the website or contact my office. Happy to help connect you. Secondly, I just want to be clear about a couple things. So I want to remind folks that the Convention Arena Authority is a public entity that was created. It's an authority that is a partnership between the state of Michigan. So the governor has an appointee around that body. So does the county, so does the city, and Experience Grand Rapids. But it's a public entity. It's not privately owned. It's not owned by any individual business in this community. And the assets from those are publicly owned assets. So any revenue generated, it goes to pay for the operation, maintenance, and management of those facilities. So that's how the Convention Arena Authority is designed, and the governance model for that. Same with DeVos Place, same with Van Andel Arena. Do we have private entities that use those spaces? Absolutely. But they are assets owned by the public. And that will be true also for the amphitheater. And then the parking element of it, City of Grand Rapids, we have a parking department now called Mobile GR, but for decades we've been building parking ramps in our city that are public facilities, and we bond to build those facilities. And then the bonds are paid back by revenue generated from those parking ramps over a period of so many years. And when we do that, we look at the ROI. So we look at how much is going to be generated by the number of parking spaces. How much will that generate over the course of 20 years? And when you look at that, the revenue generated even during downtimes typically pay back, if not exceed, the revenue generated that is needed to pay back those bonds. So it's not that those are being paid for. Yes, we're going to bond for it so that we can pay for it up front and pay it back over time with those revenues, but it's not general tax dollars that are paying for those facilities. Because the CAA is a public entity and a partnership with the county and the city, it is very common that the city or the county in partnership that we back those bonds. That's what we've done for decades. The Convention Arena Authority bonded to build the convention center. We're still paying back those bonds. Those bonds are being paid back through the revenue we capture through the hotel lodging tax. So again, I just want to be really clear that it's not a private entity, it's not a privately owned parking ramp, that this is a partnership that the city has been a part of for decades, since the building of the convention center as well as the Van Andel Arena. And then my last thing I want to say is that, Mark, I always appreciate you reminding people to vote. I couldn't agree more. It is more important than ever. The stakes are high. We have an election coming up on August 6th. There are multiple ways to vote. If you want to do it early and you can't show up that day, talk to this man right here in the clerk's department. But we really encourage people to get out and vote. It's so critical at every level. We have a number of primaries right here in the city on local elections. We have county commission races. We have a couple ballot questions. And then obviously we have some competitive primaries at the state level as well. So please remember to get out and vote. If you have any questions about voting, please contact the city and the clerk's office. Right?
Yep.
All right. And with that, we're adjourned. And commissioners, I'll see you in a few minutes down in 601.